Bus times. Yes, to save you the trouble, I know a lot about this topic because I'm a lazy shit and I don't have a license yet. Thank you, Annika. But despite the fact that many of you are independently mobile, you've all had the horrific experience of riding a bus at some point in your life. And if you haven't, then you are missing out on some of society's greatest moments. But before I talk about that, side note. Is anyone really weirded out by the new Facebook profile? It's become completely convoluted once again, and apparently now we have a Twitter feed down the right-hand side of the Facebook page. And of course we have the old newsfeed as well because, you know, it would be too easy to get rid of that. So now we have two news feeds updating simultaneously and no idea what's going on. Thanks, Mark! Anyway, moving on. Spending a lot of time on buses gives you a feel for the extremely colourful fabric of our society. And for those of you who don't use a lot of flowery language, I meant different kinds of people. Like the starers. These are the extremely pleasant, not people, who sit opposite you and watch you for unconventionally long periods of time. You just want to sit there and mind your own business, but alas, it's not to be. My favourite is when there's nowhere else to move to, so you end up just pretending to smile when really you want to go, what? What? What about the people who sit opposite you and just cough and sneeze all over you? You feel like it's rude to duck for cover, so instead you just accept the fact that you're going to get meningococcal. I feel like I make that face more than I make any other when I'm on the bus. I'm sure you'll be seeing more of that. Speaking of having your space crowded by undesirable people, isn't it always the case that the overly obese, stinky, creepy and crazy people always sit next to you? Even if 17 Calvin Klein models got on the bus, the only seat that would be left empty would be the one next to you. Just saving it for the homeless guy with Tourette's who's getting on at the next stop. It was a cold winter that year of 1984 and I was on the creek but my nose was burning. I'm gonna kick the piss out of you! And there it is again. Sometimes though, you're the one getting on the bus and taking the empty seat next to someone else. Which is all well and good until an entire seat becomes free. It's at this point that I actually find myself feeling guilty for wanting to move to the empty seat. Dilemma. I think it's something about loyalty. I feel like I've made a new bus buddy and that if I were to move seats, it would be like betrayal of our travel adventures. Although, if I look at it from the other perspective, some of my iPod choices aren't exactly crash hot, if you know what I mean. So I feel like it's somewhat of a selfless act moving to an empty seat to save them the trouble of hearing my crap music. And lighting change. Some of the greatest moments of bus times I actually think happen when people miss the bus. It really reveals a very raw sense of character when you miss a mode of transport. Firstly, there are the people who get angry. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Then there are the people who get upset. What? What? I can't. And then there are the people who just stand there with their arms poised in the air. I think They're in shock? I'm not really sure. And that's normally followed by a ow. Come to think of it, I'm unintentionally making riding the bus sound fun. I guess if you're a pervert like me and you like people watching, then it is. Don't worry, Annika, I'm still gonna get my license. But right now, aside from the factor, it's not all that bad. Except for in the afternoons after 3 o'clock. If you're over 18, avoid. That is the worst time of day to catch the bus. Because you get a lot of oh my god! He said he wanted to touch my knee with his knee. No, he did not. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yeah. No. Yes. Have pity on us kids. We've probably already been stared at, coughed on, and crushed by an obese person. Have some consideration. Anyway, I'm done. See you on the bus.